Okay, seeing that we now have a quorum, I'm calling this meeting of the Public Works Committee to order at 9:01. First of all, we have member Hart on board on Zoom today. There's been a request to allow remote participation from member Greg Hart under Section 7A of the Open Meeting Act. Personal illness, disability, employment, family, or other emergency. Mr. Hart, would you share your reason, please?
Yes, thank you, Member Ozak. Employment purposes.
Okay. Can I have a motion to allow member Hart to participate?
So moved.
Okay, and a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, thanks. Welcome, Mr. Hart. Okay, next, I'm calling this meeting to order. But before we do that, I'm now going to call our public meeting this morning to order. Please call the roll.
Chaplin. Here. Desart. Hart.
Here.
Ozak.
Here.
Tornatori.
Here.
Zay.
Here.
Okay, let the record reflect that the time is 9:02 and we are in room 3/500B in the 421 North County Farm Building. This public hearing was noticed in the February 16th, 2002 Daily Herald with circulation throughout DuPage County. This public hearing is called to receive public comments from the DuPage County application for a community development block grant COVID-19 response funding for the DuPage County Care Center air handling unit replacement project with a construction budget of $1.5 million. The DuPage County Care Center is located at 400 North County Farm Road, Wheaton, Illinois. The County of DuPage project poses to replace air handler units S1 and S1 within this building. I believe, is that S2? Yes, okay, S2. Okay, replace air handler units S1 and S2 within this building. Is there anyone present who wishes to make a public comment about this grant application? Okay, hearing none, I hereby close this public hearing. Let the record show that the time is now 9:03. May I have a motion to adjourn this public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. It's now 9:05 and I call the meeting of the Public Works Committee to order. Can I have a roll call, please?
Chaplin. Here. Desart. Hart.
Here.
Ozak.
Here.
Tornatori.
Here.
Zay.
Here.
Okay, as I said at JPS today, I'm really excited about the courthouse improvements that we have coming forward today.
Yeah.
And I really want to thank everybody. Yes.
We need to do garage.
You got
Yeah.
it. You got it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to bring Greg back in. All right, Greg. There's been a request to allow remote participation from member Greg Hart under Section 7A of the Open Meeting Act. And your reason for not appearing in person today is
Employment purposes.
employment. Can I have a motion to allow member Hart to participate?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, you're welcome to our meeting. Thank you, Mr. Hart. Okay, now my public comment or my chairwoman's remarks, thanking all of you who have worked really hard and really swiftly to get this judicial project underway. It's a huge project and I have great faith that it's just going to go very smoothly, on time, on budget, our favorite words, and thank you all so much. All right, next I'm going to move for approval of the minutes from February 15th, 2022.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, any discussion about the minutes? Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, next up, we have approval for the payment of claims for public works and facilities management.
Second.
Okay, and any discussion, comments? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, item 7A, I move for approval of FMP 008722. Recommendation for the approval of an agreement between the County of DuPage and Greeley and Hanson to provide professional engineering design services for the replacement and upgrade of existing control systems for the power plant for facilities management for the period March 8th, 2022 through November 30th, 2023 for a total contract amount not to exceed $71,146. Professional services vetted through qualification-based selection process. Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any comments, discussions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. That motion passes. Next, I move for approval of FMP 008122. Recommendation for the approval of a contract to White Construction Services to provide architectural and engineering design services and professional construction manager services under a construction manager at risk guaranteed maximum price method of delivery for the judicial annex improvements, bond courtroom expansion at the jail, and for 2 new courtrooms at the judicial office facility or facilities management for the period March 8th, 2022 through November 30th, 2026, for a total contract amount not to exceed $19,800,000. Professional services vetted through a qualification-based selection process in compliance with the Illinois Local Government Professional Services Selection Act.
Second.
Second, thank you, Mr. Secretary. Any discussion, comment about this? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great, thank you. I next move for joint purchasing agreement. I move for approval of PWP 008322. Recommendation for the approval of a contract to Curry Motors Fleet for the purchase of 1 2023 transit van for Public Works for a total contract amount not to exceed $32,696. Pricing in compliance with Illinois Government Joint Purchasing Act Suburban Purchasing Cooperative.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on this item? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, I move for approval of PWP 008422. Recommendation for the approval of a contract to LAI Limited for the purchase of Worthington and Ingersoll Rand centrifugal. It finally happened. Centrifugal pump replacement parts for the Woodridge and Ovid Nordic wastewater treatment facilities for a 4-year period, March 8th, 2022 through March 7th, 2026 for Public Works, for a contract total amount not to exceed $70,000. Competitive bids not suitable for competitive bids, sole source.
Second.
Okay, any comment or discussion on this? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, I move for approval of a bid award 2022-27. I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
I move for approval of a bid award 2022-27. Recommendation for approval of a contract to CW Nealon Glass LLC to provide and install permanent protective glass at public counters for the circuit court clerk or facilities management for the period March 2nd, 2022 through November 30th, 2022 for a total contract amount not to exceed $29,900.23 per lowest responsible bid. Okay, I have a second. Any discussion? Member Garcia.
Yeah, quick question. What was here before? There was nothing here in front of their workstations?
There was nothing, and then we went with Plexi,
Okay.
and then Circuit Court Clerk Adams requested this ARPA funding to make it permanent.
Okay.
That facility does get a tremendous amount of traffic. every
Oh,
day.
absolutely.
That's the
Yeah.
highest traffic in the
Oh,
county.
I know.
through
Yeah.
her
Okay.
office.
I'm glad to hear that they're getting it then. Okay, great. Thank you.
And in terms of permanent protective glass, it's not straight up security glass like you would find.
Correct, it's correct.
So it's a good quality, but not a
It's not
It's not ballistic rated.
currency exchange when you go to get your sticker. Okay. All right, thank you very much.
So all the glass protective stuff we had hasn't been that good. This is now better. I mean, I don't understand.
It was
They didn't have-
the plexiglass was a temporary for COVID. I
We
mean,
had the same stuff we had at the county board and everywhere else.
it is that, but she wants a permanent, I mean, the plexiglass isn't a permanent solution. This is glass, it's gonna be structured and it's gonna have supports and it's gonna be permanent in place, just for her office.
And this is at their window.
Yeah.
No, I'm not against it. I'm just, wondering why just there, I suppose, so that anybody can come who's got high traffic and he asks for an upgrade on their
Theoretically,
protective glass.
It's being done in most municipal buildings right now, so.
Any other comments or discussions about this? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you. Next, we move on to a bid renewal. I move for approval of DTP 007722. Recommendation for the approval of a contract to Petroleum Traders Corporation to furnish and deliver gasoline and diesel fuel as needed for the Division of Transportation and Public Works for the period April 1st, 2022 through March 31st, 2023, for a contract total not to exceed $1,275,000. DDOT 800,000, Public Works 475,000 per renewal option under bid award 11011 DOT third and final renewal. I have a second. Any discussion? Mr. Member Zay.
How's this, obviously with the prices increasing rapidly, how is this affecting our bid? I mean, are they Did they get out of it or were,
Well, keep in mind, when we do these bids, it's based upon market, so it's market plus. So yes, it definitely will affect our budgets. It will definitely cost us more. But the Opus rate plus is how they bid it. So whatever the going market is.
we know, you'll let us know how much more it was than the last contract?
And without a doubt, we can keep you in a loop because I know DOT is tracking it, but it is absolutely going up.
Because I think we're gonna see that gas, electric.
Mhm.
And I know we all say we all got a lot of extra sales tax laying around, but
It's definitely going up.
start to add up at some point.
Have a rough period ahead.
Yeah. Every time I heard it.
Yes, okay, any other comments? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Next, I move for approval of PWCO 800, or 000822, recommendation for the approval of an amendment to resolution PWP 012221, issued to Waste Management due to needed additional funds for disposal of refuse and grit waste at the Vector Station due to an increase in usage for Public Works to increase the contract in an amount of $15,000, taking the original contract amount of $47,000, resulting in an amended contract total amount not to exceed $62,000, an increase of 31.91%. I have a second. Any comment or discussion about this? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I move for approval of FMR 011022, resolution authorization to submit a grant application to the Community Development Block Grant COVID-19 response funding for the DuPage Care Center for the air handling unit replacement project in the amount of $500,000. Second, and any discussion about this? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. I now move for approval of FMP 008522, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Home Medical Limited to furnish and deliver an additional 20 indoor air quality disinfection units to be used across campus for facilities management
Second.
for the period March 9th, 2022 through November 30th, 2022, for a total contract amount not to exceed $63,130 per pricing being held from previous quote. This is an ARPA item. I have a second. Any comments? Member Zek?
Yeah, where are these gonna go?
So everybody's seen the units that we have throughout. Once we got those in place, they worked very well and a lot of the departments really liked them. And so we did an email to the various departments, and this is their final request for once they saw how they worked. So this is kind of all over judicial, elections here in 421, sheriff, it's all across, and these are more smaller units. I think there are 2 big units in here, but they're more the smaller units. And so this is the final order. And it's not just COVID. I mean, this will help flu, this will help cold, this will help a lot of them.
I mean, I read that, doesn't across the street have like the state of the art at the courthouse with scrubbers and it's disinfected and everything else?
They do.
Why would they continue to need more of these if they've got the state of
It's
the
just
art?
high traffic areas, high traffic where there's
We've
meetings.
got like the old Ace hardware filters over here on the vents that are locking the stuff here at 421.
No, we actually, in 421, because of the history and what's in the ceiling, our scrubbers here in 421 are pretty state of the art because of the asbestos in this building.
They don't have a filtration system.
Yeah.
I always like followed by with the asbestos in the
I
building.
know, I didn't want to say the word, but
Wondering why my hair is so gray. I mean, that's fine. I get it.
And again, these are
Could've been
portable
6'2".
units, so they
These are
can
portable.
be used
Yep.
throughout. Member Chaplin?
Yes, thank you. So, yeah, and I mean, the air scrubbers, I think, do help prevent illness. So hopefully we'll have less sick days and all that. And just a little bit, I'm not an asbestos expert, but I do know a little bit. As long as the asbestos is not touched and it's
you are correct.
and
You are
it's
correct.
solid, it's not a risk to anybody's health. And if it was a risk to people's health, I'm sure that we would address it.
We
and-
monitor this
have to,
building
yes.
regularly, and we have protocols in place whenever we're in the ceiling. I mean, it is tented off. I mean, it's people in spacesuits. So, I mean, it really is, we are very careful in this building and we monitor it closely.
Scaring me by the word there, Nick.
I know. Well, that's what I wanted.
Space suits.
Okay, any other comments or discussion? All in favor?
I
Okay, thank you. I next move for approval of PWP 008622, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Univar USA
Second.
to provide sodium bisulfate at the Woodridge and Knollwood facilities for public works for the period April 1st, 2022 through March 31st, 2023 for a contract total amount not to exceed $40,000 per low bid. I have a second. Any other comments, discussion about this item? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any old business?
Two quick items if we could. Going back to item 8A, Curry Motors, where we purchased the 2023 Ford Transit 250. I'd like to just get a little bit of discussion going with the committee. So this one was pretty easy. We bought a regular gas vehicle for this one. And the reasons were operationally, it didn't work electric. The range, 126 miles per charge. It's one of our emergency response vehicles. We couldn't make it work. That, and it was, the electric was $15,000 more, but because operationally it didn't work, it was an easy decision. I guess I'd like to have a little bit of direction from the committee because we are quickly coming on an issue where in facilities, they need to buy a similar vehicle where electric could work. So the range is an issue, but the cost is substantially more. What is the will of the committee for moving forward? I mean, 15,000 is a lot to pay for an electric when the gas, and the payback isn't there. I mean, if the payback was 7 to 10 years, that's one thing, but we'll never find the payback with the gas. Although who knows, maybe now with the gas prices, maybe we will, but. So what's the will of the committee?
Member Chaplin.
So what, excuse me, so what is the life, how quickly do these vehicles need to be replaced?
Our replacement policy is every 12 years.
And are we coming at the end of that?
I mean, this one isn't even 12 years. So I mean, this one is beyond 12 years for the payback.
Okay, but well, what I'm trying to figure out is like, because has the more electric trucks and vehicles come on the market, the price will hopefully go down a little bit, just like the big TVs, right? So
You are exactly right. I think we're about 2 years away
that's what I'm
from
wondering.
the market coming into, but in these 2 years here, the interim, there's a big price difference and delivery is an issue as well.
Can we hang on for that a year? Can we wait a year or two, or are these vehicles like at the end of their life?
Yeah, there's some, we're gonna definitely in a 2-year period, we're definitely gonna come on a point where gas or electric, we can make either one work, but electric's way more expensive and we can't find the payback. I mean, yes, within 2 to 3 years, I think the market will be there and it will be much more viable.
Are there hybrid vehicles that we can get?
We look at those all the time, but for like certain, like this van,
Yeah,
they don't have a hybrid option. So we absolutely, you saw that the sheriff just purchased all hybrid. So
Yeah.
we look at every single time we look at it, but it's just hard for us as staff to recommend something that's 16,000 more. And that's just a tough sell for us. But if that's the direction, we can go there.
well, we heard an environmental today, I don't know, maybe for the environment, it's worth the extra funds, do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm not on the committee, but you know how I feel. I mean, we have to start making these huge steps, whether it costs a little more money or not, because we have to start making a change, but only to be the leaders in the county in terms of what we're buying and what we're actually using.
And the, 2 to 6,000 that, we can say the payback, but on something like this, there is no payback. And that's why we wanted to bring it before this committee. There is no payback.
Nick, do we have any information on the longevity of these electric vehicles?
The batteries and the
Maintenance,
batteries.
Well,
batteries, engine?
The batteries it's kind of an unknown quantity. I mean, like with this one, it's 126 miles, but as it ages every year and it gets colder, that battery life is less and less and less.
Yeah.
So it has a shorter range.
So we could drive it from here to transportation and then recharge.
Yeah, I have to recharge it. So it's just something, we don't have to have an answer, but it's just something, it's going to be coming up in the next couple of months, this exact issue with facilities buying this exact vehicle for here on
We're
campus,
looking
which
to purchase 3. 2 of them need to be gas because they're for electricians. They're on a call. The third one is for campus. So electric option is viable.
So we're only talking about one replacement
yeah.
at this point. Okay.
One out of 3.
Member Torrentor.
So as I understand it from what you're saying, the cost benefit in not buying gas versus the extra cost to purchase the electric vehicle will never be made up,
not at
Given
these
the life
prices,
of-
not at these prices.
given the life of the vehicle.
Correct. not at these
So the
prices.
reason to buy this electric vehicle in question would only be for environmental
Correct.
purposes. One vehicle
One vehicle.
versus how many do we have?
Our fleet is, I mean, we're probably 100 plus in the fleet. Yeah.
So I mean, I understand the need to move toward electric vehicles. That in a perfect world, we'd be all electric. But the question is, do we want to spend extra money on one vehicle that we know we'll never get back? And that realistically is not going to make a significant change to the environment. And that's how I'm going to look at it. So I guess you can flip a coin either way. But if we knew that we were going to get our money, our 16,000 back over the cost of gas, then it's an easy decision.
Right.
Member Chapel.
What's the maintenance on an electric vehicle compared to a regular vehicle? Is it as much maintenance? Is there as much?
I don't know if there's a discernible, we can talk to DOT and see if there's a difference in maintenance for that.
I think maintenance might be considerably lower. for
We'll look at it.
electric
And
compared to yeah.
when we bring it, what we'll do is we'll have a discussion at that point and we'll have all of the numbers, maintenance, even if it's, you make it back during the life of the vehicle, 10 years, maybe you could make the argument, go ahead and do it. But if it's beyond 15 or 20 years, the payback will never make it.
Right. That's why I'm saying if we could wait, on this one vehicle, maybe if it's just for the campus, could we wait that 2 years and see what the.
Is there
Yeah,
another vehicle that could be?
No, the vehicle we need needs the capacity for what we do on campus and the electrician. So we're kind of boxed by this type of vehicle, but they do have it in both, and we'll definitely scour it, talk to DOT. But I just wanted to kind of put it on your radar as to, this is going to be an issue that we're going to have to probably talk about.
Actually, our purpose is pickup truck. They have not sold service pickup trucks on government contracts for 15 months.
Okay.
They don't think it's gonna happen until fall. There's an 18-month backlog and we all have read about the chips.
Yeah, I know.
We think a pickup truck is probably literally 3 years out. So we'll make the van work, but
And that's gonna make the difference, and I have to agree with Member Tortran. What's one car on the fleet? It really isn't going to make that much of a difference, as much as I'm pro-electric, as everyone knows, you gotta take into, what's the best use of county money. So, absolutely. Okay.
And to keep open minds as we discuss this going forward. Mr. Zay.
Yeah, one question.
Members.
What's our expertise on our mechanics at DOT? Are they trained on?
That's the magic
If
question.
we don't have it, then we'll be sending them out for service
Yeah.
to
the
local.
their
you know,
bigger issue is actually parts availability. They do have inventories. That is one of the reasons why they trying to lean on the Ford family for the part belts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's different lug sizes for tires, Chevy versus Ford, et cetera. So they try and stay in the Ford family for that reason.
But do they have the expertise for an
Electric.
electric engine to service it? And that's absolutely a very good question, because if we have to send these out every time, then our repair costs skyrocket versus doing it in-house. So those are all questions we'll have to explore when we come back.
So definitely have to get someone on staff who starts getting that kind of certification. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then the other one, just a quick bring it up, and I have heard, obviously, Member Zay brought up this morning, stormwater, several other people have brought it up to me, and this committee makes the final decision. Is everybody okay if we move forward with taking the plexiglass down in the county boardroom? Because I've heard from a number of people, and it's really, I don't know if it's going to make any difference with no masking out there. We will keep it. If something does come up, we can put it back up. Is it the will of this committee to take down the plexiglass?
Yeah, we got the great scrubbers.
Yeah, we just bought scrubbers, so.
If you ask some public health people, if I had plexiglass, it's really smoke and mirrors, so that's okay.
I mean,
So the
mine
answer is
fell
take
down
down.
today.
I would say
between my
take
desk
down.
and grants.
Although actually,
Nice catch.
I hit it and
see
it fell, so
Mr.
I
Zay
couldn't,
in the reflection of my plexiglass.
That's a reason to take it down.
That is,
Well, considering he was back there dismantling it himself around it, I
well,
think all the support is off of it, so.
and in an aside, I have an immune issue, and I will be wearing a mask for some time. And I just want everyone to remember that if you see people with masks, to understand that that's their comfort, and because we're not quite done with this in spite of feeling more positive.
We have a number of staff walking around with
Yeah.
masks still. I mean, it's just what
Or
your
people
comfort level
feel
is.
comfortable what they want to do. If they want to wear a mask, wear a mask. you don't, you don't. I mean,
It's called
that's,
respect.
that's their personal, that's their choice. That's what they want to do.
So,
No
so we
problem.
will take
We don't
down,
snicker or say anything about you in public, Mary.
Thank you.
so take it down
Thank you,
between now
Mr.
and
Zay.
Tuesday.
I got that.
I have that on tape now, everybody.
So take down the plexiglass. Is
I
that
think
the,
that's fine. Does everyone agree that we
Yeah.
can take it down?
Okay.
Kind of bond or something.
I'll just have to use like a makeup mirror to see what Mr. Zay is up to.
It's not much. Yeah.
I understand. Okay, any other new business? Okay, I move to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Yep.